I mean, well, just to shoot down one of them, I think Josh Windass again. I mean, I remember right back in January there was definitely some interest back in January. I think a loan proposal been made. I think the suggestion was Rangers couldn't have covered his wages. Some suggestions that Rangers are back in from this month, but as far as we believe, that's not happening. But on a more sort of positive front, Dan Neil, obviously former Sunderland captain, I think he was, spent the last 6 months at Ipswich. Looks like there's some concrete interest in him. I think I asked the question a few weeks back, and it wasn't shot down, but it was hinted at that Rangers would have some serious competition for his signature. I think Coventry obviously been promoted with Frank Lampard back to Premier League after a long time. I think they were one of the teams sort of credited with interest, but it looks like from the rumour mill that things are progressing that front. Rangers might have jumped to the front of the queue, might have a sniff at it. And then also Elliot Watt from Motherwell, those rumours don't go away. I spoke to a few people, certainly say that Rangers are interested, but so far we understand no movement. Is that your understanding on those three?
It is. I mean, obviously we're checking these things out as much as we can, constantly, and I think you've summed it up quite well there. I mean, of the three, to me, Elliot Watt seems the most likely. I mean, there's definitely
the tweets that have resurfaced. There's been a few.
Exactly.
Ones come back for the last few years that seem to hint where his allegiances lie in Glasgow.
That is another one, obviously, with Rangers at heart, which is what the fans are obviously wanting, what Andrew Kavanagh's wanting. But no, Elliot Watt, there's definite interest there. He's definitely on a list of Rangers targets. From what we've been told, though, there's not been any contact with Motherwell as yet.
I certainly checked that out on the players' side yesterday, and as of yesterday, there was still no movement in that front, which I think might surprise folk, though. I mean, given he's sort of there to be plucked, but I wonder if it's just the confusion with Motherwell obviously being without a manager, whether or not I think he's still got 2 years left in his deal at Fir Park, that they might be thinking we'll just hold off until the new manager comes in. But I would still think Rangers would be confident of getting a deal done in that front.
I would have thought so. I mean, listen, Rangers have maybe just been tied up with Shankland in the last week or so and haven't got round to it. As I say, that there's a definite interest in Elliot Watt, and it feels like just a matter of time before contact is made with Motherwell. And look, there was reports last week that Motherwell will be looking for £3 million for Elliot Watt, which I must admit I think is quite a lot. Whether that'll put Rangers off, I'm not sure. When you think about, you're talking about Dan Neil there. I mean, I think he's available on a free transfer. Now, there might be more competition for him, but would that mean Rangers maybe putting more emphasis on trying to get Dan Neil in? Who knows? You're right. Dan Neil has been on the radar for a long time. I think he's one that Danny Rowe specifically likes, obviously, for his time in the Championship. He's got leadership skills because he's been a captain. I think he was a huge part of Sunderland's promotion to the Premier League. And then, obviously, once Sunderland got up, they made massive changes to the playing squad, and his game time was limited. That's what seen him get out to some games.
Jacker sort of took his place in their team, didn't he?
Pretty much. But I think you're right. There's a lot of competition. I think there's.
I was just going to say, surprised to see them go back down that Championship route. I mean, we know, we only have to look back to last year. We only have to look back to Michael Beale's time. That the sort of, the pitfalls of signing guys to Championship. Given just how, listen, if Dan Neil's get this sort of interest in them that we let it believe, and especially if it's like, Coventry going back to the Premier League, they'll be asking for a pretty hefty wedge in terms of wages. I mean, so these guys don't come cheap when they come from that division.
Rangers fans are now petrified. They're now scared through English Championship signings, and they're scared. I mean, I got a text this morning for somebody saying, what about Dan Neil? Just wary these Championship players after last summer, and they're right. And I'll hold my hands up. I mean, I thought Joe Rothwell would have been an excellent signing for Rangers when he came in. Looking at his background, what he'd done in the Championship, think about that league. So it's hard to tell, but certainly that Dan Neil, he's still at a decent age. When you think of what Rangers are wanting, and that's a crucial thing here, that Rangers have changed tact this summer. Andrew Kavanagh made that abundantly clear, that it is leaders, it's leadership they want. And Dan Neil ticks that. I don't think Joe Rothwell would have ticked that box, for instance. That totally different type of player, different type of character. But Dan Neil,
in terms of personality, Joe Rothwell was just a very, quiet guy. Didn't strike to me. To be frank, he looked petrified at times by what he'd stepped into. I mean, he looked shell-shocked. I remember speaking to him after that game at Falkirk that proved to be Russell Martin's last game, and just looked absolutely bewildered about what was erupting round about him.